This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, Heroclixers. This is Tlish. Wake up and smell the clicks. You're on Coffee and Clicks, and this is my guest, Nick. Nick Murphy. He is my cousin. He's my cousin, and I wanted to bring him on the show just to talk about. Well, I taught him how to play a few months ago, and we just played one game. And he likes gaming. He's kind of new to the game, and he has some questions about it. Nick, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, um, most people will actually know me as Shinobi on Twitch or whatever. But yeah, my name is Nick. I've been literally just playing Heroclix since he showed me, like he said, a couple months ago. And there's not really much about me. I kind of stream random games here and there.
So what games do you like to play?
At the moment, I kind of got sucked into the whole battle royale scene due to its popularity. But like, I normally like kind of like RPG games, or like, how do I say it? Like free roam games, I guess would be the right
Okay.
thing.
Well, I mean, Heroclix. I mean, the game that I want to focus on today is really just, and it's about comic books, and it's I would describe it as like a kind of a mathematical game. It has a lot to do with probability, because you're calculating probability.
Yeah.
I mean, based on what we played, you have an attack value, you have a defense value, and so for those of you who have never played Heroclix, you get little miniatures like these. Right? This is the Chase Venom Black Panther. Right?
Oh, dude, it looks like Spider Monkey from Ben 10.
So this is the Chase that I pulled in my case that I just purchased, EarthX case, and he's got. If you look at his card, actually I can pull it up.
I have a card.
I can pull it up on the website.
Oh my, this card.
Let's see. If we look at the website, this is HT Realms. This is a website just for Heroclix. This is the units page, so you can look up any piece on here, almost any piece.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So here, Venom Black Panther, number 61. Okay, so if you look at his piece,
symbiotes.
Yep, he's a symbiote. He's got the Avengers keyword. He's got monster keyword. So all the symbiotes are monsters, I guess.
Mm.
And he has so you might not know all the powers and stuff because those different color code. You have green is charge, red is blades, claws, fangs.
Oh god, I remember blades, claws, fangs.
Yeah. So each power corresponds to a different color. So it's kind of like learning the alphabet, because there's like 26 letters in the alphabet. There's I think 48 powers, standard powers, 48 standard powers. So learning each one and learning which colors correspond with each one. And you have here these symbols here. You have the foot symbol, the fist symbol, the shield symbol, and the starburst symbol. So each of those are different.
Oh, starburst.
Yeah, the starburst symbol is damage, so he deals 3 damage. His shield symbol is defense, and so he has a 17 defense, which is okay. And then he has the fist, which is attack, which is 11 attack. So if you were to attack this guy against another one of the same guy, right? If they were to attack each other, you would have to you would take your 11 attack, you would roll 2d6, and then you would add that together. So if you rolled a 7, you would add 7 to 11. That's an 18, and since that's higher than the defensive value, that would be a hit.
Gotcha.
And, you would hit them for 3 damage. So then it would take it all the way down to click 4. Right, and people actually use this website a lot to play online because they can refer to all the pieces, so all their stats and stuff. But they normally come with a card like this.
Mhm.
So they come with this card, which is it has, is that backwards? Yeah, I guess it's backwards.
No,
it has,
no, it's normal.
oh, it's normal. Okay.
It's backwards on the recording, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the stats on his figure. You can see he's 75 points. So that's another thing, is that each figure has a point value.
Oh yeah, like the team cost limit.
Yeah, and the normal point value that people play at is 300. So to include him on your team would take 75 points out of your 300. But yeah, so I mean, in that sense, this game is a game of probability, because you're making dice rolls, and you're figuring out, okay, should I attack with an 11 attack on a 17 defense? I need to roll a 6. How probable is it that I could roll a 6? You know.
Yeah.
So and then it's also a game of spatial development, because it's kind of like chess. You move the pieces around on a map. So I mean, have you heard of any other games? Have you heard of Heroclix before, or any other games like it, like an
RNG based positioning game?
Kind of like miniature games, like Mage Knight, or
I actually played a game a while ago. It was like a grid based game, and it also had like an RNG encounter system when you fought somebody, similar to like Heroclix, but like, I don't know. It actually, now that the more I think about it, it is pretty similar to how Heroclix is, but it was like an online, like, animated with all these characters and stuff. I forgot what it was called though, but it was like a grid based. It looked like a board game, but it was just characters moving around. You'd have to move specific spaces, and it was like almost all your actions were based off RNG. So it'd be like a dice roll, or just like classic random number generator.
Yeah. But was that a video game, or was it an actual board game? Was it physical pieces, or on a computer?
Yeah, it was a video game. It wasn't a board game.
But you don't remember the name of it? Because that sounds pretty interesting. I don't know.
I think there's a few games like that, honestly. Like, I think J-Stars is a game like that. But it's like based off of like video game characters. So it'd be like Mega Man, and you have Ryu and all these.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, actually, I'd like to see Mega Man as a Heroclix.
As a Heroclix.
Yeah, well, they have Ryu. I mean, they had a whole Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, because they were comic books. Yeah.
It's not just it's not just comic books. They have a lot of They had Pacific Rim. They have They had Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
They were licensed to a lot of different things. They have Star Trek now. Now that the current one is Star Trek. They have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, that was a comic book, but like they have a lot of stuff. I always want to see them get Spawn, but I don't think they're going to ever get Spawn, because there's like licensing issues, because Image Comics is kind of owned by everybody, so it's not just one person that licenses out Image Comics. So, but I'd like to see them get that. Are you a comic book fan?
Not in the general sense. Like, I haven't read that many. Like, I haven't branched off to many different comic book series. The only series I've really read was like pretty much any Deadpool comic I could get my hands on, and anything pertaining to like symbiote lore. Because as soon as I found out Venom was a thing in Spider-Man 3, I was just like, oh god, there's got to be some other backstory behind this, and I just like went off with different like space war comics for Spider-Man and all this.
Yeah, the symbiotes are cool. You would definitely like the new set that just came out. It's called Earth X. It's based on a comic book series. I've never read it before, but I've heard from other reviews and stuff, and I want to pick it up. It's about, I guess, the Watcher comes and the Watcher, right?
It sounds familiar.
So the Watcher is this alien race of watchers, and one of them is assigned to Earth and kind of watches everything, but he does not intervene in anything. So he's neutral. He's completely neutral, right? And so he just tells a story in Earth X. He tells a story about, and actually in the Marvel universe, in the cinematic universe, I think people have said that Stan Lee was the Watcher. So, so the Watcher is telling the story, starts telling the story of Earth X, right? And and like, oh, actually, I have so. Are you all set?
Yeah, I'm just looking at something. Really
Microphone working? Okay.
No, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I think you would like the new set Earth X because they have a lot of the symbiote stuff. They have their whole chase series. You know, the chases is one rarity that they have. So the rarities go from common, uncommon, rare, super rare, and chase.
This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
And
Yeah,
we're
so
back again.
there's the rarity system goes from common, uncommon, rare, super rare, chase, and there's also what we call primes, and those primes are like alternate versions of superheroes. And there's a common prime, an uncommon prime, a rare prime, and a super rare prime. And those primes are even they're more rare than the rare. Like a rare prime would be more, I guess, rarer. I don't know what the proper word is. A common prime would be less common than a common, if
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
No,
But
yeah,
the
that makes perfect sense.
the chases at the top are the number one things to get, and the chases in this set Earth X are all symbiote versions of other superheroes. So that's why I think you'd think the set is pretty cool if you like the symbiotes, because there's a chase Venom Black Panther, which is the one I showed you, Venom Iron Man, Venom Rocket Raccoon, Venom Gwenpool, and
Venom Gwenpool sounds insane.
Yeah, a lot of people are Gwenpool fans. I think Venom Gwenpool looks cool. And then Venom, probably the one that everybody is most sought after of the chases is Captain Venom, which is Captain America Venom, he's pretty big. And then there's an Ultra chase in this set, which is Captain Marvel, and he's like going for like $170 right now.
That one piece.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, the prices will drop. Like they usually, when they first come out, they come out at a certain price at value on the tertiary market, and then they start dropping. You know, so like I don't know if you had any questions about like getting into the game or anything like that. Like,
I mean, yeah. Speaking of like $100, I'm surprised there's actually a single pieces that are for $100, because I was looking up different like sets and stuff like that, like for, you know, like starter packs and stuff like that, and I saw like these boxes of like pieces, and they were going for like $150 or like something crazy like that. So one of the questions I actually had lined up was, how much money would someone have to pay, like say if they're trying to get into the game, how much would someone actually think, how much would they on average have to invest to actually, you know, have a good collection to get into Heroclix?
So it depends, because I mean, it's kind of like that with a lot of the collectible trading games, you know, like Magic. You know, Magic is also very expensive, or at least it used to be. When I played,
Yeah.
Like Magic used to be very expensive. I remember, but it's not. It wasn't. That's the thing. It wasn't expensive casually. It was only expensive if you wanted to be playing meta. You know, if you wanted to be playing competitively,
Gotcha, yeah.
then that's when it became expensive. Yeah, like any, you know, like you know, they had like Black Lotus is like, you know, and like Ancestral Recall was like, you know, $300 or something. You know, it was crazy expensive cards. You know, and it's the same thing with Heroclix. There's two ways of playing, really. There's kind of like two schools. One is casual and one is meta. You know, you know, if you wanted to play competitively and be decent, you know, you have to spend some money. You know, in the meta scene. You know, like this Chase Black Panther. It's I think it was one of the weaker chases, and he's probably going for $50. You know, that Venom that I showed you, that Venom show, but then the price will probably drop. Well, right now, actually, I actually saw him going for like 70. This Venom is like 30 with the symbiote. I think he's going to be pretty popular because that symbiote you can equip to other characters, other superheroes, and that's going to be pretty popular. Oh, if you like symbiote, so I went and got you this to show you. It's not from Earth X, but it's an older piece. It's from the Mighty Thor, but this baby, look how big that guy is.
God damn, that's a big Carnage.
Yep, that's Carnage. He guess how many points he has to play. Well, he's got many different starting lines, but most people play him at 10 points.
So, is there any kind of advantage slash disadvantage?
You can buy him for he's about $80 online.
God damn. Is there any advantage slash disadvantage to taking up half the board, or?
So he takes up 4 squares, and the cool thing about him is that for 10 points, you can he's a retaliator. So what he does is, if somebody damages one of your guys, you can move him anywhere and attack that guy that damaged you. So you can like move him across the board if you want, you know.
So basically, he has like the opponent's range. He can mimic the opponent's range, basically.
Sort of. It's like if they attack you, they hit you, then you can place him, make a free attack. He kind of gives you a free attack on that guy. He's only 1 click long though. For 10 points, he's only got 1 click of life. So you get rid of him easily. But for 10 points, it's a lot of value. There's a lot of value to it for 10 points. And and you can also play him like casually. See, that's the meta. The point value that people play with. That's what people play with him on like competitive teams. They play with him at 10 points. But he's also got other starting lines. He's got like 100, 200 point starting line and a 300 point starting line. So you can, if you wanted to just say, oh, I'm going to play just Carnage, 300 points. It probably would lose, but like it might be fun.
It does sound
he's not that
fun.
great. He's better at his 10 point starting line, you know. But he's, you know, just for fun, you know, you can play him. You know, I can make a theme team with like Venom and Carnage on the same team, you know, because they both have the monster keyword. So then they would both be. That's part of the fun of it in the casual games. But I wouldn't play a $90 piece in a casual game. That's the thing. So like there's casual and then there's the competitive. And to get into the game, starting out, like a lot of people just buy a case. Like you were saying, a case is a big box of 20 boosters. Hold on, let me just show you 1 second.
Sure.
All right, so this is what an EarthX booster looks like. So this retails for about $12 to $15, and it comes with 5 random pieces. You know, you get 5 random pieces in here. So I got a rare, I got a Namor, okay, and I also got 4 other pieces that are pretty cool. You know, Now that's $15 or something like that. You know, maybe a little less, depends on where you get it, right?
Mhm.
If I wanted to, but like a lot of those pieces, like you can get cheap online too. So like you can get them like eBay or there's Troll and Toad, Cool Stuff Inc. Those are different third-party websites that sell Heroclix and other gaming, like tabletop gaming stuff. They're good websites to go to, especially anything that does not have a lot of shipping, you know. But a case would be so a brick. Then they have bricks. So a brick is 10 of these.
Damn.
If you buy 10 of these, it's about $90 for 10 of these, right? And then a case. So if you do the math, 15 times 10, you're getting a deal if you buy a brick because it's like $90. If you buy a case, that's 20 of these, which is 100 pieces, and it was I got my case for about $180, right? But those pieces you could play if you wanted to play casually. You could take those 100 pieces and just play them for as long as you want, you know, against each other or with your friends and stuff like that, you know. A lot of people just like let you borrow pieces too. Like my brother, Chris, my brother. So he just comes over my house and uses my pieces. So he doesn't have to spend anything because he just comes over and uses all my pieces, you know. So, you know, you could borrow pieces. You can just there's also something called so like I told you, the rarity system, CURSR and then chase, right? Common, uncommon, rare, super rare, and then chase. So you could buy a set of CUR, just the commons, uncommons, and rares. You get one of each, and they're really cheap. I think they're like $40 or less, you know, for a CUR. Or don't let me look that up actually, because I have no idea actually how much they are. CUR, EarthX, Heroclix. Let's see if we can find any prices. Yeah, $34 on eBay, $35 for Heroclix Earth-X CUR complete base regular set. Then here's one for $60. That might include the primes. So maybe you want to, if you want the primes, you might want to pay a little bit more, you know, for the primes. Like the rare prime is Miles Morales in the set. So actually, Earth-X has a lot of Spider-Man theme. You know Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's one of the primes. So yeah, that's a cheap way to get into it too. If you just want to play casually and you just want to play the commons, uncommons, and rares, you know, then once you get into, if you want the super rares, they're more expensive. So CURSR. CURSR is probably more expensive than a case actually. Yeah, complete CURSR set, figures with equipment, $280. So,
God damn.
So basically, the commons, uncommons, and rares are cheap, and then the super rares and chases are expensive.
Okay, yeah.
But it's pretty consistent every time, you know. You could get super rares that are not that expensive though. Like I think right now, like certain super rares, like have you ever heard of the Inhumans?
The Inhumans?
Yeah.
Anyway, some of the yes, but no.
They had a really bad TV show that I kind of like, but most people think it's bad. But the Inhumans were like a comic book team, and they put them into Heroclix form again, and some of those super rares are not that expensive. Like Medusa. Medusa is super rare. I think she's only going for like $10. You know. So.
I mean, she's a super rare, but why does she only have like 5 clicks of life?
So okay, that's a good question. The average, I would say, the average amount of clicks of life have been going down since the game started, and the game's been around for like 20 years now, or something like that. So
Okay.
when they first started, like a lot of pieces had like 10 clicks of life or something, eight or 10. Now the average I think would be 6.
God damn.
The average is like 6 clicks of life, but they have a lot of higher stats too. So the statistics are just, the power curve has actually gone up, not down.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you mean. It's like how Hearthstone is moving, regrettably. It's like they're focusing less on like kind of like the length of the game and more of like these like powerful kind of fast effects to get through the game instead of just like stats and strats.
Well, has Hearthstone, the length of the game, gone up or down?
Length of game have definitely gone down. They actually put a time limit on it because of this one card I actually showed you one time. It destroyed your deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So, like, you can definitely see like the power creep between, like, all right, so the same amount of fear that card would put into your heart was like a 4/5 minion would be that scary back then, and now it's like there are literally cards that just rip cards out of your hand. Not even your deck. They just literally will take whatever's in your hand and just nope. And there's like these crazy powerful effects. So like it changed the pace of the game so much. And I don't know. I see similarity here where it's like because I remember seeing Heroclix pieces where the different clicks of life had like a lot less effects, and now I'm looking at Medusa and there's like a ton of effects on each click, and so it's
that's so basically that is very interesting because in the beginning of the game, when the game's conception, right? The game inception, right? When it first started, the pieces, I can even show you because this website has lots of like older pieces on it. I'll just show you like Thanos from Supernova, which is like one of the first sets.
The Thanos meme.
So Thanos from Supernova, you're gonna laugh. Okay.
Why am I
Supernova Thanos.
laugh?
You see how it's all the way at the bottom here? That's because
Yeah.
those are the older sets. So there's Thanos.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
How many game effects does he have? None. But he's got lots of powers and stuff. But look at how many clicks. He's got 10 clicks. But look at his point total too. 267 points. So if you wanted to play him on a 300-point team,
that would be
pretty much
the majority of your team.
Yeah.
Besides like little tokens and crap.
Actually, the game, the way it's gone since then.
You could play him in Carnage.
Like let's look at the most recent Thanos, just to compare, just to make an accurate comparison. The most recent Thanos.
Oh god, I remember Secret Wars comics. Those were the best.
We can go with the Prime. Okay, so he's also got 8 clicks, but look at all the effects on his dial. He's got way better. He's got way better stats, I guess. I mean, his attack value is more consistent, even though it doesn't start at a 13 like Supernovas did. But
and like the passive click effects, I see they're a lot more filled up than the older piece too as well.
Yeah. So basically the way the game's worked has progressed, I think, is that there are he's only 175 points too. That's a really big thing. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting all that value for 175 points, so that there's more game effects, more traits, more powers to remember, like worded traits, worded powers, not just color-coded powers, but actually like special powers that you have to read and understand. And then there's less points, which means you can play more pieces on your team. So for here's actually a classic, really good example, Wolverine. So let me just show you Wolverine.
From what I'm seeing, it like went from this
really
small
short
team, like this small team of like kind of, I guess, lengthy life pieces, to now it's you build a larger team of short-lived, powerful, like strong effect pieces.
Yeah, and it makes the game much longer, actually. It makes it take a long time to figure out what you're doing, because now you have so many different parts. You know, I mean, even like things like the Venom symbiote, which is the symbiote that came with Venom. This is 4 points if you wanted to play this on your team. So, like, a lot of people do in competitive play is they build up a team of like 280 points or something like that, or 275 points. And then they'll fill up the rest of their team with other smaller game elements, like the symbiote, which is 4. They have a Pym's Pocket Tank, which is 8 points. ID cards, which are 3 to 5 points each. And they fill up their team with lots of game elements and lots of different things to remember. Even like if you play a swarm team that has like lots of so like Wolverine is a great example. Wolverine. Here's an old Wolverine. Let's look at an old Wolverine. I'm just going to click a random one. Infinity Challenge, like the really old Wolverine. Okay, 70 points. Yeah, 70 points. Oh, that's pretty horrible, actually. So if you look at 70 points, he's got 7 clicks of life, and his attack value is a 9. Right?
What does it mean up there? Is this rarity mail away? It's just like instantly sell it?
I actually don't know. I only started playing myself like 2 years ago, so these pieces are really unfamiliar to me, actually. But like some of these pieces, their attack values go all the way down to like 6, 7 and 6. So I guess the average defense value was lower, but to hit somebody. But now if you look at like one of the best pieces in the game now, or best just a really, really awesome piece, not the best piece in the game, but I would say it's a really awesome piece, is Wolverine from X-Men Xavier's School. And he's got 3 clicks for 50 points. That's what most people play him at, 50 points. He's got 3 clicks. But that last click is a stop click. So even if you deal him 8 damage, you stop on that click. So that means you actually have to hit him twice no matter what, right? And look at all the different powers he has. I think somebody else that was I was watching their channel. They were talking about Wolverine, and he's got like 15 different powers if you count them up, something like that. So he has a lot of game effects, and it makes it like imagine playing. At 50 points, imagine playing 6 Wolverines on your team. I mean, well, that's not a really good example, but like imagine playing Wolverine and then 5 other 50-point pieces. So you would have to be able to think of what each one does, and you have to be able to remember all the powers that they have. So it makes it more complex. So the game has become a lot more complex. It does take longer. What most people do is time the game. So they time it at like 50 minutes or an hour. And wherever you leave off after an hour, that's the game. If I killed 2 Wolverines, I got 100 points. That's my score.
Oh, okay, I see.
But a lot of times now that the game is so complex, people don't score 100 points. Unless you just go right at it. But if you want to actually sit there and think about what to do, it turns out to be like a low-scoring games. There's a lot of low-scoring games that that happen nowadays. You know, I mean, I guess back the older Heroclix, it was a lot simpler because you had one piece that was 100, 200 points, and that's all you had to worry about. You know.
Yeah, and it was a lot more durable. Like it would take longer to click down that piece, whereas now
No,
it's like
actually you'd be surprised. Like there are very durable pieces. Um, they kind of have that balance, I think, still with the durability of the pieces.
Mhm.
Even though they're only 5 clicks or 6 clicks, that's not something to get obsessed about totally because they've first of all they've lowered the damage values a lot. I think like the average piece has about 3 damage, but there's a lot of pieces that deal 2 damage. And there's also a lot of pieces that are just have like durable powers that keep them alive. You know?
I don't know what just happened.
Dropped your mic.
Sorry about that. I somehow sitting down.
Do you have any questions about like I mean, do you remember anything from when we
Oh, I
played?
gotta plug in my phone too. The camera's about to die.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
So yeah, did you have any questions about like do you remember when the last time we played and I showed you some things? Do you remember anything from it?
I do remember something about attacking multiple times with like an ability that lets you do that. But like I don't know, it was kind of weird. So like is there an ability that allows you to, because when you attack there's also like a movement part to that sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes so like is there an ability that allows a second attack with a movement or
All right, let me look up the powers and abilities card. Oh, images.
because I'm sorry, whenever I hear of something that's like, all right, it's good sometimes, but like it's only ever used a lot as a meme, like how you described Carnage. I'm always trying to, I don't know, it comes over me. I have to find a way to make it just broken, like insanely powerful. So
Well,
I'm
no,
thinking,
actually, Carnage. Those retaliators are pretty broken. Like Carnage, because at 10 points, he's pretty broken.
like I'm thinking, because you said you could bring him up in points, but like that's not really viable. So I'm thinking, is there any type of like attack like item you could equip him with that could give him an ability that makes him literally bounce around the map?
Well, I mean, like actually, there's 3 different sizes of figures. This is a colossal,
Mhm.
and it's actually this might be too small to I don't know how I can make this bigger. This is the powers and abilities card. This is kind of like your Bible for Heroclix when you're first starting out. This is your alphabet right here. So all those different colors are different powers. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. I don't know how to zoom in. Do I know
There's a
how to work it?
magnifying glass right there on the top on the search bar. If you click that, you could edit the
Oh,
zoom.
cool.
Oh, you're like zoomed out a lot.
Technology. All right. So so yeah. So here are different things, different powers and stuff. It's kind of lagging a little bit. Trying to look to see if there's basically there's different sizes too. So you can hold 1 second, please hold. There we go.
Let me see. No.
So do you see this symbol right here? The fist?
Yeah.
So instead of the starburst symbols, some characters will have that fist symbol, which means they're colossal.
Okay.
If they have that like man symbol, then they're giant. And if they have that molecule symbol, that means they're tiny size. Okay. And if you don't have the starburst symbol, I believe, I think that means if you're not considered a standard character, you cannot equip. So
really?
You cannot use equipment. But you also get lots of benefits and some drawbacks from being colossal or giant size or something like that. It has to do with the map. Like if you're on the map and you're colossal, you can see over things and hit them, and they can also see over things to hit you. You can also move around. You can also move around more freely because you can just break away from stuff very easily. But yeah, I think the power you were talking about, where you can make multiple attacks, is flurry, which is actually used a lot lately. I see a lot of pieces with flurry now. The flurry power, it says close, make up to 2 close attacks. So there's different actions in the game that you can take. You can make these are the inherent abilities right here. So you can either make a move action, you can make a close action, you can make a range action. Those are the basic ones.
So like with the ability sidestep, you could use a free action to make.
Well, and also power action. You can also take power action. So the ability sidestep is a free action. I forgot to mention that one. Okay, that's a free action. So that's not a costed action.
And you can use that like mid-turn technically, like kind of like. So you know how you can only do 1 action per turn, basically.
Well, no, that's not true. You can you can do 1 costed action per turn.
And then you could. Can you, like, for example, can you attack? Like, say your character has flurry and sidestep. Yeah. All right. Really quickly.
Yeah.
Say your character has flurry and sidestep. Can you attack, then use sidestep to move 2 spaces and attack another character with your flurry? Or
yes. So no, you cannot. So no, okay. So let me explain that. And this is actually that's very typical because a lot of people have rules questions like that. Even people have been playing the game for a long time. So this is a good question. When you have your piece, if you are adjacent to another character, now you declare your action, right? So you declare your close action, flurry, right? So now make up to 2 close attacks, right? Then you have to wait until that close action resolves before you do anything else. So if you wanted to free action first, like let's say I'm here 2 squares away, I wanted to declare my free action, move 2, then declare my close action, make 2 attacks. I could do that. I can also do, if I'm already adjacent, I can make 2 attacks, right? Then declare, so then that action resolves. Then I can declare a free action. I would have to roll breakaway unless the character is no longer there, unless I killed it, right? Unless I knocked it out. But otherwise I have to roll breakaway and then move 2 squares, right? So I can do that. So and in that case I've taken a costed action and I've taken a free action. So then so yeah, you can do that, but you can't free action in the middle of a costed action. So
okay, because I remember you could free action during, like, say an opponent's turn, like with the well, not during an opponent's turn, but like for example, when you said that, like the revenge characters or whatever, like when they attack, you can go to them and attack back?
Yeah, that would be during your turn though.
Oh, that'd be during our turn.
Yeah, during
Okay.
your turn. Actually, a lot of things that you're doing during your opponent's turn, like probability control, are not actions, not considered actions at all. Like if you look at probability control, all it says is once per turn, you may reroll a target character's attack roll or breakaway roll. A targeted character must be within range and line of fire, minimum range 6 value. So that means basically you could reroll an attack roll, and that could
Now,
be
when it says once per turn, does that refresh on your turn, or is it every time a turn is passed?
it refreshes on your turn and on their turn.
Okay.
So you could do it on your turn and you could do it on their turn. But it's not an action. It's not even a free action. It's just there. It's just an effect. Okay? Because you can't take actions on your opponent's turn.
Okay.
I don't think. Okay.
I will have to take a quick intermission because I do have to do something for my mom.
Well, let's just end it here.
Okay.
I think we can end it. I think we had a good talk. What are your just final thoughts about Heroclix in general and your interest in the game?
I feel like, well, for one, I wish I had the space in my game roster, I guess I'd call it.
That's a big issue is storage for sure.
Like aside from actual like physical storage, is like I wish I had space in like my game roster, I guess I'd call it to get into Heroclix, because as of right now I have to keep up with balance and all these different things with all these other games I'm playing. But it does seem like something I'd love to like play around with, like just try to find a combination of things that would just make like a cool effect, like maybe somebody bouncing between enemies, or a character that almost never gets hit for some reason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once you get playing with it, there's a lot of combos and a lot of cool stuff that people use. There are combos and stuff in this game. The powers even combo with each other. Like a lot of powers combo with each other, like charge and flurry. You can use both. So like you can move and attack, or even like we said, sidestep and flurry. That's a combo. You know, if you're 2 squares away and you sidestep and then you flurry, that's a combo. But yeah, all those interactions make for an interesting game. Definitely, it takes up a lot of time. So yeah, I mean, I think what you meant by like you have a lot of other games that you're.
Okay.
So thank you for being a guest here on Coffee and Clicks.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was working on my. I'm still working on my sign-off slogan. Always roast your opponents. Roast, as in coffee. Roast your opponents and push through the day. I'm Tlish. See you later.
Bye, guys.